Isn't $3,500 too little for a wedding gift?
Yeah, seriously, acting all high and mighty with just $3,500. In front of a large number of guests, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law made such remarks. No matter how many sarcastic comments I've endured, no matter how many outrageous attitudes I've witnessed, I've always stayed patient because she's my sister-in-law. But today, of all days, I won't forgive them. Approaching my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, I spoke up. My name is Annie, 30 years old. I've been married to my husband, Artie, for almost 5 years now. We don't have children yet, but we have been discussing if it's time to start thinking about it. After getting married, I moved in with Artie's parents in their house. My parents-in-law are very kind, and there's no trace of the bullying I've seen in TV dramas. I have a beloved husband and parents-in-law who treat me like their own daughter. I had been living happily with them, but things have changed today. One day, my ordinary life suddenly crumbled. I was preparing dinner with my mother-in-law when the doorbell rang. My mother-in-law was in the middle of frying. "Annie, sorry, I can't leave the stove. Could you get that?" "Sure, I understand." As I opened the front door, there stood my sister-in-law. "Agnes." "Oh, it's my sister-in-law. Long time no see." "What's going on?" "It's so sudden that I'm surprised." "What's wrong with coming back to your own house?" "Actually, I'm more surprised that my sister-in-law is still lingering in this house. It's quite shocking from my perspective." This woman, standing in front of me, mocking me and laughing, is Agnes, my husband's sister. She moved out of the family home 6 months after my husband and I got married. Since we started living together, I've never heard anything positive about my sister-in-law. Dealing with her has been a real struggle for me. I can't even describe it as just being unconventional. It's like the boundaries are too close. It's an ordinary occurrence for her to casually use my belongings or help herself to things others have bought. She was always problematic, and it seems she gave my parents-in-law a hard time too. She left her parents' house because of money issues and had a big argument with them. And now she calmly returns like this. Passing by me in confusion, my sister-in-law walks straight into the living room. My mother-in-law's eyes widen in shock at the sight of my sister-in-law. "Agnes, why are you here?" "Oh, Mom, long time no see. Seems like you're not dead yet." "Hey, why would you say something like that?" "I came with good news, but it's only fair to share it when the whole family's here." A few hours later, my husband and father-in-law returned home from work. Both of them were surprised to see my sister-in-law, but finally we could get to the main point. In an indescribable atmosphere, my sister-in-law spoke with a wide smile. "I came back today because I have some news to share with everyone." "Enough with that. Just get to the point." When my husband coldly cut her off, my sister-in-law clicked her tongue and she said, Whatever. To put it simply, I'm getting married." No way. Agnes is getting married. With that personality. With that attitude. I shouldn't say this, but if I were a guy, she would definitely not be the type I want to marry. As everyone was left speechless, my sister-in-law started talking about her marriage non-stop. I met my partner 3 months ago, and he's incredibly handsome. It's fate, you know? The moment I met him, I felt a strong connection. And so, for the wedding, everyone will be there, right? All of us, including me, had our mouths wide open. It's too sudden to keep up with. She suddenly left, then suddenly came back, and now she's getting married. Isn't there anything she should apologize to our parents for before this? The conversation continued, and my sister-in-law dropped a bombshell at the end. So, I'll be living in this house until the wedding. Living in this house? What do you mean? What do you mean? I've been living in his apartment until now, but since we are getting married, we decided to move to a different place. Then, why don't you move to the new place? Well, you see, he's a bit forgetful. He moved out of his current place without finding a new one, so we agreed to stay at our respective parents' homes until the wedding. Even so, couldn't you at least say something before coming back? You always surprise us like this. Are you saying that too, Mom? What's wrong with coming back to my own home? If anything, you should be happier since your daughter is back, right? What's with that attitude? I haven't forgotten about the day you left, you know? There you go again, bringing up the topic. Annoying. I'm going to bed now. My sister-in-law abruptly ended the conversation and went upstairs to her bedroom. After a while, my mother-in-law shouted from behind, "Wait!" But my sister-in-law ignored her. My father-in-law tried to calm down the irritated mother-in-law, while my husband and I remained silent in the awkward atmosphere, turning the situation into a complete funeral-like mood. That night, while lying down in the bedroom, I spoke to my husband. "Is your mother all right?" "Yeah, I'm worried too. I mean, Agnes coming back and getting married, it's too sudden." "Your mother was really angry when Agnes left. I wonder if things will be okay from tomorrow onwards." "Let's just wait and see, Annie. You might feel uncomfortable being at home all the time, but don't worry too much." As expected, the following day marked the beginning of hellish days. Both my mother-in-law and sister-in-law completely ignored each other as if they were invisible. In the meanwhile, my sister-in-law's wedding preparations continued rapidly, and soon the day of the wedding arrived. My mother-in-law didn't seem particularly enthusiastic, but she decided to attend as a parent at least. As we arrived at the designated venue, we saw my sister-in-law and a man who seemed to be her partner sitting at the reception desk. "Huh? Why is Agnes at the reception? Usually there would be someone else for the wedding reception, right?" Curious about this, my sister-in-law caught sight of us and immediately gestured. "Oh, you're here!" She extended her hand casually. "Give me the wedding gift money already. Oh, and you too, big brother and sister-in-law." What's with this sudden demand? Even my father-in-law seemed irritated. "What's the problem? It's my wedding, so give me the wedding gift money. Hurry up." "You're always talking about money. It's really annoying." "So what if I am? It's my wedding, so give me the money. Then you can enter the venue." Father-in-law let out a deep sigh and reluctantly handed over the wedding gift money. Then my sister-in-law turned to my husband and demanded it from him. Reluctantly, my husband handed over the money, and then my sister-in-law unexpectedly extended her hand towards me. "What about your gift, sister-in-law?" "Huh?" I said, "Huh? You should ask if you have a gift from your sister-in-law." "But I combined it with my husband's gift." "What's that? Your sister-in-law is just a stranger, right? So give me a separate gift from her." What is she saying? Even if I'm considered a stranger, I'm married to Artie, your brother-in-law. What's wrong with combining our gifts as a married couple? Keeping my anger boiling inside, I managed to maintain my composure. "Listen, Agnes. My share is already included in the congratulatory money Artie gave." "Huh? You're not making any sense. We canceled the wedding and turned it into a reception only. This is pointless." "A reception? Isn't today the wedding day?" "Having both a wedding and a reception costs more money, so we decided to have just a reception. We can still receive congratulatory money like usual, so it's a better deal, right?" "What are you talking about? I never agreed to that. Did you explain this to the guest?" "No, I didn't. But it's fine, right? It's not that different, really." Agnes and the groom laughed heartily, while my husband was also furious. But it was too late to change anything. No matter what we said, we reluctantly headed to the designated venue. It seemed like other guests were also puzzled, as there was a commotion in the venue. "Today is the wedding, right? What are we supposed to do in such a small room? It's too cramped to be a wedding venue, isn't it? I thought they would start with the ceremony, but this place definitely looks like a dining area, right?" Amidst those voices, the entrance door opened, and Agnes and her husband entered. Everyone was left dumbfounded by their appearance. I expected them to be in wedding attire, but they looked exactly the same as when they were at the reception desk. The groom held a microphone and addressed everyone. "Well, everyone, thank you so much for being here today for us. Originally, we planned to have a ceremony, but it suddenly changed to a reception. Please enjoy the meal." What was served on the tables were dishes that could hardly be called luxurious, far from what we would expect at the wedding. "What is this? A reception?" I could hear the guests murmuring with unease. It was clear now. Agnes and her husband not only cut corners on the wedding ceremony, but also on the reception menu, with the intention of pocketing the congratulatory money in its entirety. "Artie, don't you think this is getting out of hand? The guests all are shocked, aren't they?" "Honestly, I'm disgusted too. This is just too much." "I'm going to talk to Agnes for a moment." "Should I come with you?" "No, I'll handle it on my own." I discreetly whispered to my husband, feeling that this had gone too far. Heading towards the seats of my sister-in-law and her husband, I couldn't believe my eyes. They were actually opening the congratulatory money that they had received earlier and counting the amount. "What on earth are you doing?" Rushing over in a panic, my sister-in-law's eyes gleamed. "Oh, sister-in-law, are you adding to the congratulatory money? We're glad it accepted any time." "Stop jogging around. It's incredibly rude to open the congratulatory money in front of the guests." "I'm not joking though. Everyone came here to celebrate your wedding. and you're skimping on the ceremony and reception to get more congratulating money. Don't you feel ashamed?
You're exaggerating. Besides, whether it's the ceremony or the reception, it's our choice, right?
Everyone is taking the time to attend and paying a substantial amount as a congratulatory gift to you.
If you're going to say that, then let me say this too. $3,500 as your congratulatory gift is too little, don't you think?
Joining in, even the groom laughed and said, "Too little." With a mocking expression, my sister-in-law boldly uttered these words to me.
Could you stop pretending to be family for just $3,500, Artie?
At that moment, all the anger I had been holding back surged up, pushing me beyond my limits. Looking straight into her eyes, I asked in a low voice, "Hey, are you serious about this? Your selfish actions have been causing trouble for the whole family. Despite that, we try to put our feelings aside and be here for the celebration.
If you're family, you should give us more money."
All you care about is money, isn't it? Don't you have any sense of gratitude?
Gratitude? Grateful for what?
Don't you feel sorry for the guests?
What? Are you here to lecture me? Then go back to your seat.
My sister-in-law gestured as if she was brushing me off. I took a deep breath and spoke in a voice that echoed throughout the venue. "Enough is enough. You need to stop this." My strong words caught my sister-in-law off guard, freezing her expression instantly.
Sister-in-law?
"You've been causing trouble for our parents, suddenly came back without a word of apology, and now you're complaining about the amount of money, the wedding gift, and pocketing the gifts from everyone. What kind of nerve do you have? Are you out of your mind?"
Well, wait a minute. What's gotten into you? This isn't like you, sister-in-law.
"What do you know about me?" I yelled at my sister-in-law. "You're right. After all, I'm just a stranger to you, not a family member, so I can easily abandon you. I'll never help someone as unreasonable as you, no matter how much you're in trouble. Be prepared for that." I snatched the envelope of the wedding gift, which was in the name of my husband and me, for my sister-in-law, and put $1,000 back into my pocket, out of the $3,500.
What are you doing?
"I told you, we're not family, so there's no obligation to celebrate. I want you to return the $1,000 that I contributed. It's extremely rude to deceive everyone into thinking it's a wedding and then have such a modest reception."
What's wrong with you? It's terrible to take back something you've given to someone.
Who's being terrible here? You try to deceive the guests and keep their gifts for yourself. Apologize to everyone who came. As I raised my voice, even louder, and shouted, my sister-in-law let out a gasp and tears welled up in her eyes. The guests who had been listening to our conversation stood up, one after another. Each of them retrieved their gift envelopes and left the venue. Realizing they had been deceived by the bride and groom, everyone lost the desire to celebrate. Witnessing that scene, my sister-in-law and the groom cried out in tears.
Wait a minute. We were planning to use that money to rent a new home. I also have a huge credit card payment this month.
Oh, as I expected. I had a feeling it would turn out like this. Even in this situation, they only cared about their own worries instead of apologizing. Honestly, I was so dumbfounded that I couldn't even say anything. After that, both my spouse and I, along with our in-laws, collected all the celebrity gifts. The sister-in-law and her husband pleaded until the end, but we constantly ignored them without listening. It goes without saying what happened to them afterwards. The two, who had all their celebrity gifts collected, had apparently cancelled their plans to move to the new house they were counting on that money for. Furthermore, they couldn't even recover the cost of the reception and ended up in debt, having to make payments. Since the groom originally had a credit loan, the two of them were completely covered in debt. They were disowned by the groom's parents, and with nowhere to go, the sister-in-law and her husband predictably came to rely on her house.
Mom, Dad, I apologize. Please, I'm begging you, let us live here.
I'm also begging you, please open up this place for us. The two of them pleaded tearfully in front of the entrance. However, both our spouse and in-laws had no intention of helping them. They were so persistent that we had to call the police and forcibly have them leave. Burdened with debt and cut off ties with many people, they were undoubtedly facing difficulties in life. On the other hand, our lives returned to a peaceful daily routine. We never wanted to be involved in such troublesome matters again. From now on, I cherish the ordinary days with my spouse and in-laws.